You know, we spend so much of our lives running around, trying to figure out the secret to happiness. We complicate everything. We chase people, we chase validation, and we end up exhausted. But what if I told you that the best way to live the path to real peace and freedom can be boiled down to just 8 simple truths? If you can truly understand and apply even just 3 of these, your life is going to change. I'm not talking about becoming a billionaire overnight. I'm talking about something better: sleeping well at night, feeling bulletproof against stress, and finally living on your terms. Let's dive in. First, and this is the most important one, stand on your own 2 feet. No matter how old you get, you have to remember one harsh reality: you cannot rely on anyone else 100%. Not your parents, not your partner, not your friends. Relying on others is a dangerous gamble. It's like walking into a casino and betting your entire life savings on a roulette wheel. If you win, great, you look good for a moment. But if you lose everything. You go back to zero, or worse, you end up in debt. People change. Feelings fade. Promises get broken. Even your own children, they aren't there to serve you, they have their own messy lives, their own mortgages, their own stress. They can't carry your burden too. If you build your house on the foundation of other people's support, it will eventually collapse. But if you build it on your own strength, that's unshakable. When you pay your own bills, solve your own problems, and heal your own wounds, you walk with a different kind of confidence. You have dignity. You are your own best backup plan. Second, keep a healthy distance from everyone. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should become a hermit and live in a cave. But you need to stop forcing connections. You need to stop performing for people. Socializing is expensive, it costs energy. Trying to fit in, fake laughing at bad jokes, worrying about what people think, it drains your battery. True maturity is realizing that solitude isn't a bad thing. It's a luxury. It's when you finally step out of the noisy crowd and come back to yourself. Think of it as decluttering your social life. You know that feeling when you clean your room and throw out all the trash? Do that with your relationships. Keep a respectful distance. It protects your peace. When you aren't desperate for company, your relationships actually improve because you're choosing them out of want, not need. Third, stay low-key. Learn to swallow your pride. If you want a peaceful life, stop broadcasting your wins. Stop trying to prove how smart or successful you are. There's an old saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. When you see something you don't like, you don't always have to call it out. Just observe it and move on. Keeping your head down isn't about being weak or submissive. It's strategic. It's about watching your step so you don't trip. Real strength is having the power to destroy someone in an argument, but choosing to stay silent because you know it's not worth your time. That's power. Let others be loud. Let them show off. You stay in the shadows, building your empire quietly. Fourth, learn to play the fool. At this stage in life, you need to master the art of selective hearing. Sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is pretend you didn't hear a thing. If someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, did you know that 1 + 1 = 50?" you don't argue. You don't pull out a calculator. You just smile and say, "Wow, really, I didn't know that." And you walk away. Why? Because arguing with a fool proves there are two. Don't waste your precious energy trying to explain ice to a summer bug. They will never understand winter. Disconnect from the drama. Stop trying to be right and start trying to be happy. Fifth, surrender to the flow. We stress so much about the outcome. Will I get the job? Will she text me back? Will this work out? There is a concept called, do the work, leave the rest to fate. It means you wake up, you grind, you put in 110% effort. But once the arrow has left the bow, you can't control where it lands. So why worry about it? Relax. Tell yourself, I did my part. The rest is out of my hands. This mindset is liberating. It stops the anxiety. You sit back and wait for the wind to blow. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You are not defined by the outcome, you are defined by your effort. Sixth, always plan for the worst. This sounds negative, but it's actually the most positive thing you can do. It's called defensive pessimism. Before you start anything, ask yourself, what is the absolute worst case scenario here? Imagine it vividly. Imagine everything going wrong. Can you handle it? If the answer is yes, then you have nothing to fear. When you mentally prepare for the crash, you aren't afraid of the flight. And if the worst does happen, you won't fall apart. You won't have a mental breakdown because you've already been there in your head. You're ready. Real heroism isn't blind optimism. It's looking at life with all its pain and unfairness straight in the eye, and choosing to love it anyway. Seventh, talk less. Loose lips sink ships. It's a cliché because it's true. When you talk too much, you reveal your cards. You give people ammunition to use against you later. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful person in the room is usually the quietest? When someone talks non-stop, it often means they are insecure or foolish. When someone was successful but suddenly starts bragging and talking too much, watch out, they are on their way down. Silence creates mystery. Silence commands respect. If you aren't sure if you should say something, just shut up. Keep them guessing. And finally, number 8, conquer your emotions. Losing your temper is the fastest way to ruin your life. Think about it. How many times have you said something in a fit of rage that you regretted 5 minutes later? Anger makes us stupid. It drops our IQ to 0. Getting mad is an instinct. Any animal can get mad. But staying calm, that is a skill. That is a superpower. There is a direct link between your temper and your luck. The shorter your fuse, the harder your life. The calmer your mind, the luckier you become. Wealth, health, and happiness do not like to live in a chaotic home. If your mind is a storm, good things will stay away. Life is just one big practice session. We are practicing how to deal with people, how to deal with problems, and most importantly, how to deal with our own minds. It's all about the inner game. If you can keep your heart quiet, firm, and clear, nothing on the outside can touch you. Master your mind, and you master your life.